Hi, this is Holly from Holly Brand Arts, and a couple weeks ago I had done a video that was aimed towards kindergarten and first grade, and we had drawn a teddy bear drawing, and I saw that a lot of you had seemed to enjoy doing that drawing, or having your kids kind of go through that drawing with me, and so I'm going to give another instructional video today for kindergarten, first grade aged students or children, and I find that I'm pretty good at explaining things to kids because I am an elementary art teacher and I teach grades K through 6. And something that we just did at school the other day was talking about the difference between 2D and 3D shapes. And after we had learned the different types of 3D shapes, we learned how to draw in 3D. And so we're going to draw a still life, which is just an arrangement of real objects and trying to achieve realism. We'll do a still life drawing, drawing 3D shapes together. And so all you'll really need for this drawing right now is a pencil. We can come back in and color that later together. You could color that on your own, choosing your own choice of colors. The first thing that we will do, we'll start out kind of simple. We'll draw measuring with our pinky. And I find that this just kind of helps kids figure out where to start and how big to draw things. So we're going to take the edge of our pinky and put it at the edge of our paper. And we're going to put a dot right in front of where our pinky lands. We're going to take our pinky and put it right up against the end of our pinky, right up against that dot, and make another dot in front of our pinky. So we're just kind of using our finger to measure with. We're going to connect that with a smiling curved line because we know that a cone has a circle on the bottom. It's circular and circles are made with curved lines. And so we'll draw a smiling curved line to make the edge of our cone. We know that the top of a cone looks like a triangle. And so we'll just be starting at the edge where those dots are and coming up to make a triangle. We'll start from the other side, diagonally going up into a triangle shape. If you have any extra at the top, we'll erase that. And we can tell that that's a cone and not a 2D flat triangle because the triangle would have a straight line and we've drawn a curved line. The next shape we'll draw together is a pyramid. And a pyramid has 3 or 4 sides, also a triangular shape. We'll start right at the dot of the cone. We're going to come down diagonally. This line is smaller than our pinky finger. And we're going to come up diagonally. If you're having a hard time, just give me a second. I'm going to make this much easier for you. We're going to find the middle of this shape where these diagonal lines are, and we're going to come up straight in the center, as tall as the cone. And so if you're having a hard time imagining what those lines look like, it just looks like an arrow pointing down. So I'll give you a second to check to make sure that your pyramid right now kind of looks like an arrow pointing straight down. If I then come off the edge of this diagonal line and connect it to the top of this straight line, I'll get one of the triangle sides for my pyramid. Now if I do the same thing over here from the top down to the edge, I'll get the other side for my pyramid. And that looks pretty 3D. The next thing we'll do is to kind of repeat that shape again. So we're going to draw a diagonal line right at the edge of the pyramid. We're going to draw the line going back up. We're going to do the straight line in the center so it looks like another arrow going down, but we're only going to come up half as tall as the pyramid and the cone because we're going to make a cube. And a cube has 6 square sides, and we're going to show 3 of those square sides. So this is a straight line. We're going to come off the edge of this diagonal line and make another straight line. This time this straight line is going to be a little bit taller than the center line. We'll do the same thing over here at the edge of our diagonal line again. We're going to make it kind of match the height of the line that we just drew so that the sides are taller than the middle. And if I just take a diagonal line and connect the middle to the side and the middle to the side, now I have matched my diagonal lines top and bottom, and then my straight lines on all three sides so far. Now, at the direction that we have this cube turned, the top of the cube will actually resemble a rhombus or a diamond shape, and so we're just going to come diagonally up and make it match the one below. So we're going diagonally up towards the right hand side, and then we'll go diagonally up towards the left hand side. So up towards the left hand corner, and now we have a cube. We're going to overlap something, and when we overlap something, that means that that's something that we're going to add. It's going to cover part of another object, and so I've placed my eraser here a little bit on top of the cube. I can't see all of the cube because the eraser is over it. It's overlapping. And so we're going to draw the sphere, and a sphere is a 3D circle. We're going to draw that 3D circle about the size of a chocolate chip cookie. Doesn't that sound so yummy? We want to draw it nice and big, so just imagine a chocolate chip cookie. We're going to draw it about that size. We'll erase the part of the cube where we overlapped. We won't be able to see that part anymore because the circle is on top of it. And right now we can't tell that that is a sphere. It just looks like a circle. And so what we'll do is to have to add a shadow. We're going to start at the bottom of the circle. We're going to make a candy cane shape. And we're going to connect off the edge of that candy cane shape and stop when we hit the circle. And if we go ahead and color that in, that'll look like a realistic shadow for our 3D sphere. We're going to underlap part of the cylinder behind the cube, and a cylinder just kind of looks like a can of pop. And so we'll start right here on top of the cube. We'll draw a line a little bit taller than the pyramid. We'll come off the top of the sphere and draw a line that's just as tall as that line that we just drew. A cylinder has a circle on top, so we're going to connect those lines together with a smiling curved line. And we'll top it off with a frowning curved line so that we get that nice flattened circle that we would see on top of a cylinder. The last shape that we'll add is a prism. And a prism is just a repeat of the cube, only larger. And if it's a rectangular prism, these will change from squares to rectangles this time. And so we'll go ahead and draw a diagonal line from the sphere and stop when we hit the shadow. So just a very tiny line. We're going to come off almost the edge of the shadow, and we're going to draw ourselves a straight line coming down into the shadow. It'll be as tall as the cylinder. We're going to come off the edge of that straight line and add a diagonal line. And again, it looks like an arrow going down. Those edges are the same on the pyramid and the cube. So just repeating some things we've done before. We're going to come off the edge and make the other side of the rectangle. We're going to make this line go a little bit taller, just like we did on the cube. The other line is behind the cylinder, so we're going to make the cylinder line go a little taller. And we'll go ahead and connect the middle to the side to get our diagonal line, and the middle to the side to get our diagonal line. And again, we're just going to turn it into that rhombus shape up there on top. So we'll add our diagonal line following the one underneath, and our diagonal line following the one underneath until they meet together. And I like to usually shade these in or color these in with just crayon or colored pencil or marker, whatever you have handy at home. And before we do that, we don't want these shapes to just look like they're floating in space, so we'll actually draw it to look like they're sitting on a table. We're going to do some more practice with overlapping and underlapping. So we'll start here at the bottom of the prism, We're going to scoot our pencil up a little higher. We're going to draw a straight line until it goes off the edge of the paper. We're going to pretend that straight line is underlapping behind the prism, behind the cylinder, behind the cube. Then it's going to get to peek out a tiny bit in between the cube and the pyramid. We're going to let it go behind the pyramid. It'll peek out again a tiny bit between the pyramid and the cone, and then it'll finally just finish off behind the cone until it hits the other side of the paper. And I would suggest that you just use lots of different colors. Have fun with this. Maybe your cone will be yellow, your pyramid might be purple, your cube might be red. Just try to use lots of colors and have fun with it, and make sure that you color it nice and neat, because I bet your drawing turned out awesome. I'm going to go ahead and sign my name down at the bottom of my drawing, and you might want to sign your name when you're all finished with yours. Nice job following along with me, and I hope you had fun drawing 3D shapes. I'll see you next time.